Welcome to Chaplain for PTSD. My name is Chaplain Dustin Farr. This is my first video for my YouTube channel, and I want to thank you for watching. On this first video, I am just going to go into the reason why I created this video, give some statistics on PTSD, and just talk about exactly what PTSD is. And also just give you a little brief intro on myself. I'm a disabled veteran, United States Marine Corps. I was diagnosed with PTSD after completing my degree and becoming a chaplain. I decided to go ahead and continue with my PhD. I'm still working on my PhD in counseling and psychological studies with a concentration in PTSD and trauma and grief counseling. And that's the reason why this is very close to my heart, and I want to get this information out so that I can help as many veterans and families as I can. Now, I do speak more to the veterans and the military, but this is for anybody that comes and looks for information, because PTSD it affects everyone. It doesn't matter if you're a veteran, if you're in the military, if you were in an accident, if you were sexually assaulted, if you were in a national disaster. PTSD is a traumatic event, and it can affect anyone. So the reason why I created it is to just break the stigmata surrounding PTSD and mental health, to educate the public about PTSD and mental health issues, and to provide resources to help individuals and families cope with PTSD and the mental health challenges that come along with it. I do want to make sure everyone understands that any information you watch on any of these videos or on my website, which is chaplainforptsd.org, is all for information and education purposes only. It does not replace medical, clinical, or professional advice, diagnosis, or medical intervention. And it also does not replace the services of trained therapists, doctors, or health professionals. I am not a licensed therapist or psychiatrist. I am a chaplain. So let's go ahead and just talk about some of the statistics surrounding PTSD. According to the National Center for PTSD, in 2025, approximately 5% of the United States adults are estimated to have PTSD in any given year. Now, if we talk about breaking it up into genders, you have about 8 in every 100 women, about 8%, and about 4 in every 100 men, 4%, will have PTSD at some point in their lives. Now, this is the reason why the numbers are higher for women than men is because due in part to the types of traumatic events that women are more likely to experience, such as sexual assaults, compared to men. Now, when it comes to veterans, that's a different story. Veterans are more likely to have PTSD than civilians. It's estimated that about 7% of veterans will develop PTSD. And out of that 7%, female service members have twice the amount of risk in developing it than males. We also, now for the global, according to the World Organization, WHO, 3.9% of the world's population will experience PTSD in some point in their lives. That's a high percentage, 3.9%. Now, the WHO organization also says that only 1 in 4 people with PTSD in low to middle income countries will seek treatment. So those are some statistics for you, and that's all from 2025. Now, like I said, my goal is to just to educate and give you some coping mechanisms to help with PTSD and trauma, so that when something when your anxiety comes in, you will have something to, like breathing exercises. You'll have coping mechanisms. Like I said, you still need to seek out a doctor to officially diagnose you. If you have not been diagnosed, seek out psychiatrists, and they will also help develop these even more. This is just to help get you going, and also to help family members understand what's going on. So let's get into exactly what PTSD is. I have spoken with individuals, family members, and some of them didn't even understand exactly what PTSD was or is. So, post-traumatic stress disorder. It's a mental health condition that occurs after an individual has experienced or witnessed a traumatic event. Now, PTSD is triggered by exposure to an actual or threatened death or near-death experience, serious injury, car accidents, something like that, sexual assault, sexual violence. This can also include events like combat for veterans, car accidents, boating accidents, anything like that, assaults of any form, and national disasters. The forest fires in California, the earthquakes, any earthquakes, tsunamis, hurricanes, tornadoes, anything like that. That can be a traumatic event that can cause PTSD. And the symptoms of PTSD can last for a long time and cause problems in people's lives. They can include having upsetting memories or nightmares about the event. They'll cause them to try to avoid things that remind them of that event. It'll cause them to start feeling numb. It will also cause them to have negative feelings and thoughts about themselves and about the world. And then it'll also cause them to have feelings of constantly being tense and on edge. Now, while it's normal to feel fear during the event, this, for PTSD, for victims of PTSD, this continues for them. It doesn't stop. These symptoms continue on. And in some cases, it can last for months and years. And these symptoms can significantly affect their work, relationships, and their overall quality of life. Now, I want to talk about how they've basically taken PTSD symptoms and typically grouped them into 4 different types of categories. There are more, but there are basically 4. And the basic 4 are re-experiencing, avoidance, negative changes in thinking or mood, and change in arousal and reactivity. And these categories will help help you understand the different ways individuals may experience and cope with the traumatic events. So, like for the first one, re-experiencing. It's a little self-explanatory. It involves unwanted or stressful or distressful memories of the event. It can manifest as flashbacks. I know a lot of people have heard the old war stories about Vietnam vets and all that about having flashbacks, being back in the jungle. That can happen. It can happen to anybody. People that were sexually assaulted, they'll have a flashback of that. And for them, it can be real life. It's like they are right there, and they could just be sitting on the couch. And the person relives, it's them reliving that event in real time. And they don't realize that it's not real. It could also happen through nightmares or in dreams. The next one is avoidance. It's individuals will they'll go through avoiding thinking or talking about the traumatic event. They'll avoid going to places, interacting with people, or doing activities, or avoid situations that remind them of that event. Then you have the negative changes in thinking and mood. This can include the person thinks and feels, the way they think and feel, such as persistent negative thoughts about oneself and the world, feeling of hopelessness, difficulty experiencing positive emotions, detachment from others. And then you have the next category is change in arousal and reactivity. And these symptoms involve like increased anxiety, irritability, difficulty concentrating, sleep disturbances, where they're waking up constantly, or they can't go back to sleep. Sleep apnea has occurred from it. Also being startled easily, and also easily angered. So those are the 4 basic categories. And as I said, I don't want to get too much into everything. For this first video, I just want to talk about the basics. In my next video, I'm going to go into talking about PTSD triggers, understanding them, how they work, and then maybe some coping mechanisms, and just continue on from there. But I do want to make sure on my website, again, it's www.chaplain4ptsd.org. On there, you can find all this information. You can also find a bunch of programs that are available for anybody dealing with PTSD or trauma or any type of traumatic event, whether you're a veteran or a civilian. Also, there are crisis hotlines. I do want to put it out there. If at any time you are in distress or feel that you want to hurt yourself or someone else, please call 911 or go to the emergency room. But there are numerous. There's the Veterans Hotline, the Veteran Crisis Hotline. Dial 988 and press 1. and there's somebody always there to talk to you 24/7. There's the PTSD for America. And then there's Cornerstone Military Service, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's all kinds of hotlines. You have local, these are national ones, but there are also local hotlines that you can call too. So please reach out to somebody if there's any type of, if you're in a crisis. I do want to leave you with something, something to think about. You can't wait until life isn't hard anymore to decide to be happy. So I'm going to say that again. You can't wait until life isn't hard anymore to decide to be happy. You have to make that choice. And that's the hardest decision, is making that step, making that choice. Now, there's, I know, everybody knows that that old saying, a penny for your thoughts. I really, I don't like that saying, because to me, your thoughts are worth more than a penny. They're priceless. And in today's society, we value things more than our thoughts. And once we stop, or once we start putting more value on our thoughts, it can help us to improve self-esteem and confidence by recognizing the value in our thoughts and aligning them with your actions can build self-worth, making you feel more confident and capable. They can also help you enhance decision-making by understanding the core values and letting them guide your decisions. You can make choices that align with your beliefs and needs, leading to greater clarity and satisfaction in your life. It can help you cultivate a sense of purpose. When you align your thoughts with your values, you can find a sense of meaning and purpose in your life, providing direction and motivation to pursue your goals. It can help you manage stress and build resilience. Focusing on positive and constructive thinking can reduce stress by enabling you to cope with challenging situations more effectively, rather than feeling overwhelmed. It can help you promote overall well-being by shifting your focus to thoughts that align with positive outlook and practicing self-compassion. You can enhance your mental and physical health, leading to greater happiness and a better quality of life. So in essence, valuing our thoughts can empower us to take ownership in our inner world, shape our perspectives, and ultimately create more fulfilling and meaningful experiences. So, just something to think about. So, this is Chaplain Farr signing off until next time. Stay safe.